Hi, let's talk about positive thinking, and this is really what it takes to be happy, to have a fulfilled life, to think positive. You see, a while ago I confessed on Facebook that I had a conversation with a customer service representative for a company which didn't go that well. And succinctly speaking, it was a mistake. I purchased something, and when I received the invoice, it was about $5 more than we agreed upon. And I noticed that only late in the afternoon, so I couldn't call anybody at that time. So I had to wait until next day. And all that time, all that waiting time, I twisted in my mind all kind of scenarios of how bad those persons are, how dishonest, and how they can try to trick me and to take my money, and stuff like this. You probably recognize the pattern. So I was setting myself up, and next day when I called them, I was into that state of agitation, of that state of a negative state, if you call it this way. So no matter what that person on the other end of the line told me, I would interpret that as being dishonest and trying to manipulate me and so forth. And of course the conversation didn't go well, and as I said, I wasn't proud of it. And I thought about it, I reflected about it, and I took some learnings. And you see, today actually happened something similar, or it was about to happen something similar, only I did something different. You see, yesterday again I purchased something, and when I noticed the invoice, well, actually when I checked the product, something seemed to me not okay, not as it should have been. So again I started, the regular thoughts, the regular pattern of thoughts of how they treat me, how deceiving those offers are, and so on and so forth. And of course I try to calm down and to think positive. But what do you see? This morning when I woke up and I wanted to call them, I still had the same feeling inside, although I thought positive thoughts all night long. But I still felt that tense feeling and negative feeling inside. So I knew if I pick up the phone having that state and start the conversation being in that state, the conversation would not be constructive, at least speaking. So I decided to do something different. And it is this beautiful concept about think positive thoughts. Hey, be positive, be happy, man, come on. Stuff like this. But being happy while still feeling bad is like putting the trash underneath the carpet. It's still there, and it will grow into something worse. You see, because even if you cover that bad feeling with some positive thoughts, you're still feeling that negative feeling. It's still in your unconscious mind now, because now your conscious mind is busy thinking those positive thoughts. So those negative feelings are now closer to your unconscious mind, where they have place to grow. You see, they say that what you focus on grows. I don't believe it's true. I believe that actually what you feel grows. What you feel grows. And when you feel something and you put it on your unconscious mind, then it has all the room to grow. It's like distracting yourself from that negative feeling with some positive things. And that negative feeling right now, being distracted out of it, right now it has all the room to grow. That's how habits grow. That's how you learn things, and so forth. So I decided to do it differently. I decided actually to apply the reverse of it. Because you see, what you feel grows, but what you talk about or what you observe tends to dissipate. And I'm not saying that you have to talk about that particular issue in a Freudian type of way, doing some sort of analysis of it and trying to find a solution to it or resolution to it. I'm not talking about that, because when you do that, for instance, you just give more solidity to those thoughts. And thoughts, as we all know, or I hope we all know, thoughts are just thoughts. It's nothing solid to them. It's no truth to them. They're just thoughts. There's no way a thought to be the truth, because in the same moment I can have the opposite thought. So then, which one is the truth then? You see, so thoughts are just thoughts. And when you give them solidity by analyzing them and so forth, they become even more solid, and then you start to feel them and they start to grow and so on and so forth. But there is a different way. In between negative thinking and positive thinking, or negative feeling and positive feeling, it is a third way. It is a no thinking, a no feeling. Osho talks about that. But basically it's all about observing. Take that thought and you just observe it. Be mindful about it. Accept it as it is. There's no need for you to reject it. That's the regular tendency that we all have. When we feel something that we don't like, we tend to reject it, to put it away. And when you do that, you just give it more attention. You feel it more and it grows more. But when you just allow it to be, just observe it. Give it space. Give it so much space around it that you're going to feel isolated. You're going to feel so alone right there. And just observe it. Don't do anything. Accept it as it is. You don't have to like it or to don't like it. Just accept it. It's just what it is. Being good or bad, it is just some meaning that we give to what happens. So just observe it. And that's what I did. I looked at myself, at those thoughts, those scenarios that were running in my mind, and I allowed them to run. And I looked at them. I said, okay, now I'm thinking that. Now I'm thinking this. Okay. And where is that thought? Where is that? Where is the feeling that I feel associated with that thought? And I decided, I noticed actually, it is here somewhere. And I noticed it has a particular shape. It has a particular color. It moved in some way. And I could do all kinds of things once I identified that and allow it to be without trying to push it away. Just allow it to be. And give it space. Give it space to manifest. To be there. And my job was just to observe it. And I observed it. Giving it space. And I could have done all sorts of things. Just, change the shape, change the color, change the movement, maybe the location, put it outside of me somewhere. I could have done all kinds of things. This morning I decided to just observe it, to just look at it. With the eyes of my mind, just allow it to be and look at it. And you know what? I noticed that shortly after I started to observe it, without trying to do anything to it, I noticed that actually it changes. It started to change. It was different. After a while it was different. The sensation was different. The strength was different. Even the location switched a little bit. Nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. I used to say, show me one thing which never changes, and I'm going to eat it. If you show me one thing that never changes, I'll eat it right now. All of it. And have a glass of water after that. Show me one thing that doesn't change. It stays that way only if we fuel it. You see, scientifically speaking, a state inside our bodies, from a chemical standpoint, as a flush of chemicals, basically lasts 60 to 90 seconds. That's all it does. When you feel something, and it is that flush of chemicals inside of your system, basically it stays up for about 60, 90 seconds at most. If you feel that feeling after those 60, 90 seconds, it's only because you fuel it back again. You rehearse it. You rehearse that thought and that feeling back again, so you hold it. Some people hold the same grudge that they had or upset that they had 10 years ago, they still feel it today. And they still feel it today because they reactivate that feeling again and again and again. But if you just allow it to be, you see, it's just like when you make a coffee and you agitate it a little bit, all that thing at the bottom of the cup spreads in the entire liquid. But if you leave it, but if you leave your cup over there on the desk, after a while, all that thing settles down on the bottom of the cup, so you can sip the coffee being clear and pure. And that's the same with your feelings. If you just allow yourself to be, and just observe it. Observe that feeling. It will settle down. It will change. And you'll notice it changes. When you observe it, don't do anything to it. Don't try to push it away. Don't try to manipulate it in any way. Just accept it and observe it as it is. And you'll notice it changes. And if it changes, that means it is not the truth. And once I noticed that it changes, and I didn't do anything to it, but just the realization that I was feeling my thinking. I was feeling something that I was thinking, that I was doing in my mind. It wasn't them who did that to me. It wasn't any reality out there who was after me to hunt me. It was my thinking which was producing the type of feelings that I had. I have those stripes from the light. I'm facing west and the sun is coming through my window. So I just noticed that feeling changing. And just that realization of that feeling changing changed my attitude. So I called those guys to ask them, hey, what's this about? And it proved actually to be a little issue with my browser. It was the cache on the browser. I had to just restart the browser and everything was fine after that. So you see, it wasn't actually anything, really. But it was just in my imagination when all those scenarios were bubbling up and amplifying every time when at any run of that scenario, at any cycle, it was larger and bigger and more serious and so forth. In many ways, I think that actually we are creating, and I believe that actually we are co-creating the reality around us by fueling with the type of thoughts that we have and the type of feelings that we entertain. So next time when you find yourself in this kind of situation, when you think that somebody did something bad to you, just before starting any conversation with that person, just stop for a moment and observe your feelings and allow those feelings to calm down. So when you start the conversation with that person, you started from a level of wanting to find out a solution, not to take revenge or to show them who you are, that you are strong and whatever. Take time to cool down, allow your feelings to change before starting that conversation, because 95% of the times is just in your mind. And in the other 5%, when you start the conversation from a proper position, the solution is just over the corner. Think of that for a moment. Next time when you feel the urge to fight with somebody, let me know how that goes for you. I hope it went in the same positive way as it went for me. Take care until next time. Bye for now.